What's cracking, Jack? You are in the jungle. We're going to break down my 5 favorite bets for college football November 1st, right here, right now. Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the show. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the jungle. I'm going to give you my 5 favorite bets for college football on Saturday, November 1st. I'm going to leave for you 2 links in the comments section. The first link is to my $5 favorite play of the day. And for just $5 and no further obligation, you get my best college football bet for Week 10 text right to your phone. The second link is to become a Jungle member. And for as little as 55 cents a day as a member, you get my full betting card sent to your phone every single morning. Every sport that I handicap: MLB, NBA, NFL, college basketball, and college football. You also get access to our members-only Discord and a direct line to me if you'd like me to opine on any other bet that you're considering placing. We have a free weekly trial. Take it for a test spin and see if it's for you. Today's video is brought to you by Outlier.bet, the top name in sports betting research, and by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie.ag has a great deal for Jungle viewers. Open up a new account at MyBookie.ag, one of the biggest offshore sports books that there is. You can access it from all 50 states. Use promo code SILVERBACK, and if your first bet doesn't hit, it's refunded up to $500. That's right, your first bet with MyBookie.ag using promo code SILVERBACK. If it doesn't hit, they'll refund your money. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So now these 5 games aren't necessarily the sexiest games, right? Or the biggest marquee matchups that you're going to find. But my obligation to you and my obligation to myself as a bettor, a professional capper, is to bet to make money, not just bet for entertainment. So these are the 5 games, the 5 bets that I think we most have a chance to make money. First game up, Washington State at Oregon State. Wazoo, minus 3.5, over under at 47.5. I think this line is short. Wazoo was 4-4, and all 4 of their losses were to teams that are or were ranked at one time in the top 25 this season. North Texas, Washington, just a 3-point loss on the road at Ole Miss, and just a 2-point loss to Virginia. This is an Oregon State team that lost to Appalachian State, got pounded by Wake Forest at home, 39-14. Oregon State hasn't beaten one FBS team this season. Their only win was against an FCS team. Neither team sets the world on fire offensively, but Washington State has a much better defense. They allow 24.6 points a game, and Oregon State allows 32.7 points a game against lesser opponents. Wazoo is a much better team here. Lay the 3.5 on the road. USC at Nebraska. Very interesting game. Can't wait to watch this one, and can't wait to cash on it because the public will be on the other side. USC is minus 6.5. The over-under is at 59.5. The public is going to be all over USC in this game. I know that. I understand that. They have the number next to their name. They're ranked, and they have one of the best offenses in college football. But USC has had a very hard time covering the spread when they travel east. They lost straight up and failed to cover against Notre Dame. They lost straight up as a road favorite in Illinois, and they failed to cover the spread at Purdue this season. Let's look back to last year when traveling east. They lost straight up as a favorite in Maryland, lost straight up as a favorite at Minnesota, and lost straight up to Michigan in a down year for the Wolverines. When they travel east and time change matters, USC has not met the bell. This is a classic live dog situation for a Nebraska team at home. Their only loss, Nebraska's only loss at home, was by a field goal to Michigan. And the most similar team they played to USC, this high-octane offense, was Cincinnati. Nebraska won that game outright. This is a Big Ten football in November in Nebraska, something USC is not used to, a situation that has not been historically advantageous for them to win or cover the spread. Take the Cornhuskers plus the 6.5. Oklahoma at Tennessee. Tennessee minus 2.5 or minus 3 depending on the book. The over-under is set at 55.5. I believe the loser of this game is essentially eliminated from the college football playoff contention. So in essence, it's a playoff game. And I like Tennessee minus the 2.5 or minus the 3. There's too much of an offensive disparity between these two teams. Tennessee scores 45.6 points a game, second most in the country. Oklahoma scores us 28.4 points a game, which is 73rd. Tennessee is third in the country in passing. They throw for 321.4 yards a game and gain a whopping 7 yards a play. The Tennessee defense is aggressive. They take chances, but the Sooners' offense has really struggled against every SEC defense that they faced this season, especially since John Mateer has had hand surgery. And from the eyeball test and statistically, Mateer is just not the same after the hand surgery. The Oklahoma defense is very sound, but we have seen them struggle against teams that can pass the ball. Ole Miss put up 34 points on them last week, and Texas put up 23. Tennessee has won 23 straight games at home against teams that are not named Georgia, and I think that streak continues Saturday night. I don't think Oklahoma has the firepower to compete with the Volunteers, lay the points with Tennessee. Next game up, Cincinnati at Utah. Cincinnati plus 10.5. Over-under set at 54.5. 10.5 is too many to give Cincinnati here. The line opened at 8.5, which is still too many. And when the news came out that Utah quarterback Devin Dampier is playing, the line jumped to 10.5. But that's just fine for me. Dampier has beat up on poor teams this season, but last year was one of the most inefficient passers in the nation. When you pin Utah into a corner and make them one-dimensional, Dampier cannot beat you through the air. That's what Texas Tech did in Utah and beat the Utes 34-10 on their home field. This Cincinnati team is most similar to Texas Tech in terms of explosive offense, the defensive physicality. They're 23 in points scored and 34th in points allowed in the nation of 136 teams. Cincinnati quarterback Brendan Sorsby is having the best statistical season of any team in college football. He has 26 total touchdowns and only 1 total turnover. Cincinnati is without running back Evan Pryor, but Tawee Walker has been splitting carries with Pryor all season and is averaging over 5 yards a carry. He'll be just fine in that offense. It's not inconceivable to think that Cincinnati scores first in this game, goes up 7 points, and with that spread, now you're up 17.5 points with one of the best offenses in the country and a great defense, pinning a team to come from behind that has a hard time throwing the football. This is one the books made a mistake on. Take the Cincinnati Bearcats plus the 10.5. And the last game we're looking at today, Pittsburgh, Pitt at Stanford. Pitt is minus 13.5. The over-under is at 51.5. This number, with the spread, can't be high enough. Pitt is 6-2 overall, 4-1 in the ACC, and in contention for an ACC title. Believe it or not, Pitt is actually in a better shape to win the ACC than Miami is. Stanford is 3-5 overall and 2-3 in the ACC. Pitt's coming off a 53-34 win over NC State, who's a good team. The Panthers also beat Syracuse in Syracuse 30-13, beat Florida State at Florida State, and one was within a touchdown of Louisville. Panthers' passing attack has been elite, over 300 yards per game. They're 11th in the country. Pitt is scoring 40.2 points a game compared to Stanford scoring just 17.5. Pitt is also doing it with defense. They allow just 22 points a game, which is 49th in the nation. Of 136 teams, Stanford gives up 29.5, 101st. Stanford is also 132nd against the pass, which, as I mentioned, is Pittsburgh's strength offensively. They're 10th in the country in air attack. This is a Pittsburgh team scoring 40, giving up 22 against the Stanford team, scoring 17.5, giving up 29.5. Lay the 13.5 with Pitt. Let's have a day, Jungle Nation, and I'll see you next time with a little more money in your pocket.